Sup guys, Ovodoff here. Today is a very exciting day. We get an official announcement of the Arbitrum Token Airdrop. The airdrop is gonna happen on 23rd of the March, but you can already check your eligibility. For that you need to go to arbitrum.foundation, connect your wallet and see if you're eligible. I myself was not eligible, but that's fine considering I was too late to the Arbitrum hype train. The first obvious question is, can you do something now to become eligible for the airdrop? And the obvious answer here is no. In fact, if you haven't used the Arbitrum chain before the February 6th, you are automatically not eligible because the snapshot they used for data analysis was taken on February 6th. So how do they determine eligibility? There were a lot of speculations over the past few months, and I also made a video on it doing the steps that could potentially lead to be eligible. That included Arbitrum Odyssey NFT, that included getting as much roles on Discord and guild.xyz as possible, but in reality none of that actually mattered. Only on-chain data of transactions actually mattered. And the distribution model was actually done by Nansen, a well-known on-chain analytics company. And now we're going to go to the article to read how they determined eligibility and basically the numbers. If you're interested in on-chain data, I recommend you read the full article. It's very interesting. I'll leave a link in the description as well. Here I will try to just summarize the key facts. This is probably the key point here: airdrop's principles and objectives. Via the airdrop, the Arbitrum Foundation aims the optimal distribution of governance of the Arbitrum protocol. One way of doing this is to try to understand patterns that indicate organic activity. Organic activities include finding utility in transacting on Arbitrum, helping develop dApps and protocols available on chain, or contributing to the economic and technological governance of the protocol. These desirable behaviors can be measured on-chain and over time and classified in distribution ranging from moderately to high active wallets on Arbitrum chains. A wallet that initiates multiple transactions may not necessarily do so for genuine economic reasons and is therefore not guaranteed to remain active post-airdrop. Therefore, another objective of on-chain data analysis has been to help identify ambiguous wallets that behaved like symbols, e.g. wallets that very likely used Arbitrum chains with no other purpose than to become eligible to a future potential token airdrop. This second objective was tackled by the introduction of negative criteria, most likely to be associated with the symbol behaviors, and by clustering models run by Off-Chain Labs symbol researchers based on Nansen query, Arbitrum, and Ethereum on-chain data. Removing symbols is a necessary step in ensuring that the distribution of the governance is broad. Symbols by definition represent a concentration of tokens which is antithetical to the goals of the distribution. So one of their goals was to identify those wallets who only used the Arbitrum for the potential airdrop later, not using the ecosystem. So transactions activity was measured between August 31st, 2022 and February 6th, 2023. And on Nova, it's been between October 2nd and February 6th. And they have a lot of diagrams that actually show that most of the wallets, and technically there were around 2.5 million wallets that transact in that time period. However, if we look at the graph, for example, this graph, number of transactions initiated, we can see that 600k wallets only did one transaction during that period of time. Then they checked the duration between first and last transactions, and look at that, half of the wallets did all of their transactions within 48-hour period. Then we have a number of distinct months when addresses initiated transactions. And again, around half of the wallets did it within 1 month. The next one is total USD value sent. And again, around half of the wallets, it's less than 100 USD. And based on these criteria, they created a point system where wallet was awarded positive or negative points based on certain things. Like here we have the criteria of the number and time span of transactions. Then we have the liquidity criteria, and this is based on Arbitrum 1. Actually, Arbitrum Nova has its own table where eligibilities are just bridging to it and doing more than X amount of transactions. And then this is the negative criteria. So all the wallet's transactions occurred within 48-hour period, has a balance of less than 1 token cents on the day of the snapshot, and has a balance of less than 0.005 ETH on the day of snapshot. So basically they were just trying to identify those wallets who were there just for the airdrop. So based on this data and the points, they kind of combined that and created various behavioral profiles of eligible wallets. And based on this data actually helped them to identify symbols who on paper would be eligible, but as we see later on, they were excluded from the distribution. Again, they're describing this process in detail, so you can check that. And then to summarize, we have the final number of eligible wallets and the distribution. Out of 2.3 million wallets having breached on Arbitrum 1 before the day of the snapshot, only around 625k or 28% obtained more than 3 cumulative points and were eligible to receive the Arbitrum token. Around 37k addresses were associated with functional wallets like Bridge Smart Contract, the centralized exchange wallet, or a burn address, and were not included in this list, and around 135k were identified as symbols and were also excluded. And then we have this cool graph. This is the number of eligible wallets addresses by intervals of token collected. And as you can see, around half of all eligible wallets will receive between 625 and 1250 ARB tokens. And we have less and less and less wallets as we climb higher to the high number of Arbitrum tokens. Again, very interesting article, interesting model of distribution and the approach itself. That's all I wanted to cover. If you liked the video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.